Miss DMcBride. And of course, Miss McBride, before we had our commercial break, we were talking about some of the activities that your department, Community Economic Development for SunTrust Bank, some of the activities that you're involved in. Let's continue that line of conversation and to have you to look at your component parts and to give us some information about some of the things that are involved with these component parts. And I think that if we can do that during this segment, it will give our audience a fairly good idea of some of the things that they can expect when they think in terms of securing financial resources or financial assistance from SunTrust Bank. Let's do it from that perspective.
Okay, be glad to. I'd like to start off by saying a lot of the things that we do, and I will emphasize that, we don't do them alone. We have partnerships with other entities in the city because the job of getting credit for every individual is a very large one, and it sometimes takes partnerships. One of the programs I'd like to start off with is Partnership Mortgage, which is a housing program. We give first-time homeowners a mortgage which is 100% financed.
Now, what do you mean when you say 100% financed?
What I mean is when you come to the table to sign the documents, there's no down payment. Now, that's very rare. Not only is there not a down payment, generally when you have a mortgage, there are reserves that you must have. You're not required to have that. And it is at market rate. We have approximately 12 million to 13 million on the books right now. Our delinquency rate is far below most mortgages, not just through Nashville, I'm talking about through the country, and it's going extremely well. But what we learned from that product are two things. One, the individuals that I talked about earlier that really helped us, they went out into the community just as I did and started talking to people and saying, what is it that's keeping you from getting a mortgage? And two things kept coming up: down payment and closing costs, down payment and closing costs. So we got together and said, the bank did, everyone is saying the same thing. If we can have a mortgage that is both profitable and one that's going to help the client, not put them under, then let's try it. And we worked with numerous people. As a matter of fact, I'm not sure you know Attorney Manson. He helped us immensely in getting the documentations and everything together. But through that experience, pardon me, we also learned that there was an educational component that was missing, because these conversations with the originators, which are the people that take the mortgages, was taking longer than anticipated because we didn't have a common language. So we instituted another program, which was a home buyers program. And that was to teach the person the things they need to know before, during, and after home ownership. Now, it wasn't just us that were conducting the classes. We had experts to come in, realtors, closing attorneys, inspectors, so that you could understand the process. My feeling was that's probably going to be your largest purchase ever. Shouldn't you know more than 30 minutes worth of information? So it's a 4-week course, 1 day a week. It's going wonderfully, and I believe many banks are probably doing it now, but it's something I'm very proud of because I know when that person signs to get their home, they know exactly what they've done. They made a decision based on facts that they have gathered and not that people just kind of told them.
Now, would it be safe to say that most of these applicants are perhaps low-income applicants? Would that be safe to say, a large number?
Actually not. Some of them are, but believe it or not, teachers and firemen, bankers, they're all basically in the same income.
Now, when you mentioned the delinquent rate, you say that you've got a very low delinquent rate. It means that people are paying back these loans on time and et cetera. Now, what do you have, how do you assess that? Well, especially when so many people assume that when you move into minority communities and et cetera, that there will be a problem in terms of credit delinquency. How do you assess that? I mean,
well, already the statistics have proven that wrong. That was really never our fear. Our fear was that would you have enough of a margin that if something occurred in your life, could you handle it? Because the idea of your income escalating is very remote.
And so you've got to have enough resources to cover any kind of emergency outside of your daily kind of things that you have to do, the monthly kinds of things that you have to do.
Because things change. Your landlord used to come and do those repairs. Now, if you have a plumbing problem, it will remain a plumbing problem until you pay them. But that's the whole purpose of the educational course. It doesn't mean that everyone that takes our course gets a mortgage. A couple of things can happen. One, yes, you could get one. Two, you may find out you're not ready. Now, here are the steps that I need to undertake if indeed I want to proceed.
And so now this represents one of the major areas, your housing component. And there are several other components within your area. What are some of the programs associated with some of these other components for the benefit of our audience this morning?
Well, I talked to you earlier about outreach, and outreach to me means getting the word out, and I appreciate this time because hopefully people will understand some of the things we have to offer. But we have a speakers bureau at the bank, and that's where we go out to civic groups, any type of organization, churches, to talk to them about financial products. We have gone to some churches where they have decided on Wednesday nights now, besides the prayer that they're going to do or Bible class, they also want to have a component where they're going to learn something about financial credit. And we've talked about home ownership, we've talked about investments. Now, usually when I mention the word investments, people think of large dollars, but it takes small dollars to escalate to other things. And so we want to show them there is a pattern that you can develop to achieve that. We also go to other learning centers where people are getting ready to get into the workforce. They've had some setbacks, and here's their second chance out. Well, they need to change some of their behavior in the way they've managed money. We need to do that now. Credit cards are prevalent, advertisement is prevalent. It's fine to have it. Learn how to manage it. So we offer that to the community. All they have to do is call me, and I will either come myself or one of our staff people.
And so all of this information is available to churches and sororities, fraternities, and other organizations.
Anyone.
And all they have to do is to call you and call the SunTrust Bank, and they will make arrangements to send out some of the speakers. And we'll talk about some of the other aspects as soon as we finish this second commercial break.